This video is to try to see who's out there, who would want to reply to a question. The people I talk to, they give me very, very poised, very correct answers. So I'm looking for somebody who's direct, who knows the ins and outs, and who knows pros and cons. Somebody that sees through all the nonsense, all the political correctness, left or right, and somebody who's not scared of the beast of Anonymous or QAnon or any other extremist group. Now the lady, like I said, I don't know how my first CNP, she said there may be others. I mean, she's a very friendly lady. She didn't know a lot about the Saginaw VA, so I opened her eyes up, the stuff that's happened to me and others, kind of opened her eyes to the stuff going on. But I mean, it's kind of out of her lane. But at least she knows some of the challenges for veterans, who have disabilities. She knows some of the really in-depth challenges that they face. And then they have to deal with the mountain of a VA claim in addition to, handling their medical issue and getting it documented correctly without retaliation or lying or, trying to use word choices to minimize the illness the veteran has, such as mild, this is one that really makes me laugh, mild intermittent asthma. It's basically, that's what I'm talking about, when they try to minimize what a veteran has, and then they may even give them, if there's multiple diagnostic codes, they'll give them the least of the diagnostic codes, the least chronic, the least dangerous, the least, least ad infinitum. In addition to their choices, either you have asthma or you don't. When I looked up, the medical nomenclature, either you have it or you don't. There's no mild, intermittent. So if it's mild, that means there's nothing to worry about. If it's intermittent, well, that means once in a great while, maybe. Is that really even asthma? So, but if somebody has dust blow on them from an HVAC right in front of the medical provider, and that's what he codes, should he still be a medical provider? Matter of fact, when his LPN did nothing about it, she came down to the door and asked the doctor if he needed assistance after the asthma attack passed. This veteran that went into the asthma attack could have been unconscious. Investigate the Saginaw VA. I may not be your best follower, Mr. President, but I'm certainly not your best critic. I don't follow any human heroes. I have Jesus Christ. That's enough. But so back to this. The lady told me that when my exam time is done, which is they're always in 3-hour blocks, you can't get more, and they have to meet with you at least 2 hours to get paid. So actually it never said you can't get more, but it did say you must meet at least 2 hours. So that's a VA condition, so Visco Services will pay for it. But so I was told that when the appointment is done, all the questions are done, all the DBQs, they're all electronic. I had paper copies in my attaché, but she did everything electronically, and then it has to be submitted to the federal insurer. It was actually a federal insurance company that did this. This is one of their side jobs. This federal insurance company. Not TRICARE, but as I said before, they do work with TRICARE.
Exactly the same.
But so what transpires, she says, is she fills it out, she submits it, then their clinical services does something with it, and then it's sent off to the VA. I never got a copy, but inside my VA.gov, in my health vet, I'm supposed to upload stuff. So, what's the normal procedure? And my concern is if we never get a copy, it kind of disenfranchises us. So what is the system here?
At Amazon,
Should I have waited there?
Customer trust. We work hard to make sure that it's easy.
I don't know. I mean, because they're supposed to give medical records to you the minute you're done. It's standard for government health care.
When a customer clicks,
you're supposed to get discharge notes, or you get a copy of everything filled out. So, I don't know what's going on. But at least now I can get an attorney since I have a denial in hand. But from what I've been told, I'm glad when people leak when they're upset, or when something happens to them, so they obtain a little bit of empathy for what's happened to my family. People have said that that the rumor is out there that somebody is threatening attorneys. If any attorney takes my case, that they will hack them. That's what I've been told. The only attorneys that have taken my case that I've had, are attorneys that were targeted too. And I mean, one attorney was targeted. It's just disgusting what people did to him. Obviously, he's still bar card in hand, so it's all garbage. But it's just disgusting what people do. And I mean, he was a municipal employee, and he was doing a good job. He actually had his own courtroom assigned, and he was targeted. And until we do something about this targeting of American citizens on our own soil, this stuff is going to continue. It makes me sick to my stomach. The 911 report gave us so many areas that we're deficient, or there's nothing at all to protect our country from the next event. And that never even dealt with all the ease that hackers walk in and out of our networks. How they walk in and out of your children and your high schoolers and your college kids that use no security on their phone whatsoever. Or your home networks that have routers that extend 200 feet when your property's 100. We are so vulnerable to so many things. Nobody does anything about it. Yeah, the rise in cybersecurity type positions. Yeah, people like me who've dealt with it, who studied it. Not as much as others, but I've, in my employment abroad, I learned quite a bit, as well as living in the Tri-County area of Michigan that's full of hackers. And you go a little farther south, you got Antifa, all kinds of people coming to this state. But that being said, yeah, we're very vulnerable, extremely. So, was I supposed to be given a copy of this stuff, or what? Is this how the system works? But one thing I'm really tired of the past couple years, more and more people taking away my rights, more and more people taking away my control over my own life, my own affairs. I'm sick of it. I am sick of it. More and more people cross the boundary to physically threaten me and my daughter, and nobody does anything. Like the police last week when the neighbor got really aggressive and got all crazy. I was just concerned, so I rang the doorbell. I said, "Ma'am," I think I made a video about this, but just totally off the cuff, just crazy stuff. And she ran out to me in the common area. She crossed her porch and got within a foot of my chest, very aggressive. Because she's screaming, and I'm saying, no, what you're accusing myself of and my daughter in disturbing you and being, just a nuisance to the property, that's not true. And she went crazy
Elle est allée où?
because she's the one hitting the wall all day long. We have recorded it. I think I did with the phone. But and probably security cameras, if they were on, probably recorded it too.
Le gars qui a agressé le serveur
But
du snack, il est répertorié
anyway,
dans le
that being
fichier.
said,
Le seul petit problème, c'est qu'il est
you know,
censé
is this?
voir depuis
I don't know what to think about that
Yeah.
exam. I don't know what to think about the processes to come next. You know, because in my experience, the past 8 years,
Ouais.
you know,
C'est pas
parties,
lui qui nous a dit,
VA,
il peut rien nous dire. On a pris ses
even
empreintes,
some
et voilà.
civilian providers who are connected to the VA, and other civilian providers that just
Je savais pas qu'on pouvait blouser le fichier.
don't like my attention to detail, you know, or my interest in reading studies about current medical issues and current treatments. You know, I don't have a lot of allies. And some doctors have told me to throw stuff away when I bring it to an exam. They're like, I'm not going to read it. Just throw it away. And I haven't had a doctor when my knee went out, and you know, we were discussing various issues that could have caused it, what it may possibly be, because all they could authorize was an X-ray, you know, normal old X-ray. And we're discussing, you know, possible issues and complications. And I'm like, well, what if this is a meniscal tear, you know, and maybe some, you know, strain on the ligament? And she's like, well, it's not going to change how I treat it. And I'm like, well, you know, if there's more damage there than we can theorize, I'm like, then we need to have more aggressive treatment. She's like, no. She said treatment's going to stay the same. I'll wrap it with an ankle bandage, mind you, ankle bandage. Give you some NSAIDs, and you could take that old crutch right there. That's it. Knowing that I have carpal tunnel because their own doctor is the one that did my first surgery. Yeah, I wasn't impressed with that doctor at all. But anyway. And in the end, between my discussions with somebody that had a knee injury and my research, I was right. It was a meniscal tear on 2 different sides. You know, which thank God, at least for a while, you know, it didn't get worse, but it's worsening now. Because nobody treats anything for me. Nobody treats anything. They just say, take another acetaminophen. You know, here's another hole punched in your liver. But, oh, this isn't supposed to be so much about me. It's focusing on helping others. Well, okay, so let's get back to the topic here. So, you know, is this, you know, should I handle things differently with that CMP exam and wait it around, or is there a process where you're sent copies? Sorry, I'm watching a French crime drama. I'm a big international film person, especially crime dramas and serials. I just love them. But anyway, yeah, French crime dramas, they can get rather rambunctious. So yeah, if somebody could, you know, give me an idea if I handle things wrong and I should try to quickly get a copy or what. I mean, the way the system is, I can't even call this place. I have to go back there. I have to call a 1-800 number to do anything. I have to go back there. So to do anything else, to talk to the person or to get copies, I would have to go back there. I don't trust the mail. Read, you know, listen to my last video and probably about 6 or 7 videos before that, and you'll know why. Nobody in our township likes to take this route because there's crime, mail theft. People blame the mail person, and there's some people who just have a lot of bad attitudes, and so nobody likes this route. And also, it's the most, you know, wild goose chase routes, because you go down this road, then you gotta go down this road, then you go across over here, 3 blocks away, and go down this road. I mean, it's a difficult road. Or, I mean, a difficult route. Plus, you have to deal with people's attitudes. A lot of complexes where people will hover over the mailboxes.
suis tombée sur une chose.
This is all around.
T'as reconnu?
It's the route they give to the new people,
Non,
because nobody wants it.
il m'a pas reconnu.
But so yeah, I would need to do something different than just ask for something in the mail. But I'm looking for somebody's guidance in what I should do. Thank you.